All right, January 19th, workout breakdown, back day. When I'm going over these or choosing these, because again, I only do 2 a week. I would love, by the way, to do more than 2 of these a week. It would just be entirely too much. But I have to kind of weigh a few things. There has to be enough substance, obviously, for me to feel like I have enough to talk about. Although I kind of feel like there's always things, like when I'm coaching, there are constantly things in these workouts that can be broken down and gone over at a much deeper level than just what you guys see on the monitor, and that's kind of the point of these workouts. But a lot of times I also have to weigh, like, if I put certain things on a video, like how many people are going to choose not to show up because they see things they don't like, and there's a lot of things being juggled when I'm picking these. But for the most part, there's usually there's something in the workout that I feel is important enough to tell you directly, and to go over and peel a couple layers back just so you understand when you guys are walking into it, how you truly, or the best opportunity to approach it as efficiently as possible. And that's kind of like been my goal for all of these. So, I have people question, I brought this up because somebody asked, how I pick the videos, and I pick it off of mainly those 2 things, but a couple other things as well. So the back day, kind of cool. I'm excited for this. Again, this is one of those ones that it needs to be approached the way it's intended, how it was intended when I wrote it. Otherwise, it's not going to achieve what we're trying to achieve. But pretty black and white on the surface level. It's going to be 5 rounds, 9-minute rounds. The first 3 minutes are your choice. I left it open to you guys to pick whatever aerobic choice you'd like. Again, I would strongly, push you to, pick something that you think you need to work on more so than the ones you kind of already know, or that you're good enough shape in to do. This month, I would strongly push you to pick the ones that, I don't know my 70% or I don't know my 60% on the skier or the rower, and choose a piece of equipment based off of that. Because again, I've got a lot of feedback as I think people have learned a lot. It's been a very enlightening month. The floor work has taught a lot of people how to correlate numbers to output, what works for them, what doesn't, what 60 and 70% of the differences are. And we want to continue that. We still got a couple weeks left. I think it's a very educational month in that sense. And again, it's not you guys learning this stuff and this data and these points, these thresholds, and certain lines in the sand is so valuable moving forward, that I want to keep hammering that. So pick a piece of equipment you need to learn more on. Roll with it all 5 rounds. Again, you don't have to hit 70 or 75%. When you guys see this, you can do 60. You can even do 50% if you like. Whatever works for you. You could change it up every single round and just start getting an idea. Like, play test it. Like, learn something from these. You don't always have to kill yourself. Either way, 3 minutes. You'll transition into 6 minutes, so the clock will obviously roll right into a 6-minute clock. And you got these 100 farmer step-ups. Now, we have not done these before in the group setting. I've always found I wanted to find a way to implement them. Sometimes they just kind of get lost in my brain. I've done these on my own plenty of times. They are awesome. It seems like a perfect opportunity to do it. So the goal is obviously treat it like a farmer's carry, but elevate your weight. So going over expected on your weight, and you're just going to use a low bench, and you're just going to do a step up, obviously to full extension, which sounds kind of silly, but I think once you guys grab the appropriate weight and start doing these at volume, you'll feel the effects of it. But all the same technical pieces as a regular farmer's carry: chin out of your chest, shoulders down, not rounding forward, lats are engaged, you're protecting your spine. Your hips are underneath your shoulders the entire time. And if you fully lock out at the top every single rep, it's just that much more tedious and annoying. But again, the integrity of the movement is important. And you're going to do these over expected. So your goal is, like, if you grab 50s for a typical farmer's carry, you're going to try to go up to like 60s, 65s. Because again, you're not traveling as much, and there's not as much pressure on your spine or on your traps as you would be walking. So elevate your weight. And I wanted to go over this workout mainly for this portion because I think when people see chippers and they see these large rep counts, they very instinctively grab lighter weights and try to do these monstrous chunks of reps. And that's not really the goal here. You'll have 30 minutes, 5 rounds of 6 minutes. You'll have 30 minutes to get through these rep counts at the bottom. And I don't need you guys getting through them in 20 minutes because you grabbed entirely too little weight. So again, over expect on the farmer's carries. When you get to the low rows, I'd be grabbing the weight that I typically do 10, 12 low rows at. Maybe the first set or two. I hit 15, 16, 18, whatever, somewhere in there. But again, the weight should bring me back down. And again, it goes hand in hand with our month. We got these 3 minutes of kind of like floor work, and then you need to transition directly into these loaded movements, which again just fits perfectly with our monthly emphasis. But I don't want to take away from the resistance training, and it doesn't need to be taken away from if it's approached correctly. So these pull-ups, same concept. I'd be doing like my normal 5-set type of band situation. I'm not trying to do sets of 15 on purpose just to blast through these. And you know how this is going to work is you got the 3 minutes there. You then just have a kind of an open-ended 6 minutes to get through as many of the 100 farmer steps as possible. You pick up wherever you left off under the assumption you don't finish the 100, which honestly you probably shouldn't if you're using the right weight. You'll go back to the next round, 3 minutes, come back, pick up where you left off from the farmer step-ups, and then so on and so forth. You work your way all the way down to single arm overhead reverse lunges, which again, 20 on each side, obviously, broken up however you'd like. 2 minutes of accumulative bar hang, so when you guys come off the run, you're just trying to accumulate, obviously paying attention to the clock, 2 full minutes on the bar. Again, if that's not something you feel comfortable with, for those of you that don't like to get up to the bar, obviously you can just do a dumbbell hold there. Not ideal in this particular scenario, given the farmer step-ups. We've already done that. But again, I know those people are out there. And then again, 10 dumbbell man makers. So I think this is both worlds. I think there's people that will finish this with time to spare, and I think there's people that, the majority of people, you just won't finish it. So I don't think it's one of those ones where like you need to be focused on finishing. Let's just make sure we do everything with integrity, and we use the appropriate amount of weight, and you guys are really learning something from each of the 5 rounds of 3 minutes on whatever piece of equipment you chose.